Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Action Soldier Infantry. I had to check because that's such a generic name, like it makes sense. I just wanted to be sure because I'm not a G.I. Joe guy that's what we're reviewing, and as far as I know, that's what it is. If I'm wrong about this, I'll have fixed it in the title. This is a $35, maybe it's $36 release that comes with all kinds of stuff. And it's pretty darn good. I've been told I should review it, so I figured, what the heck? I talked to my Big Bad Toy Store person, they sent it, so now I get to review it for you guys, because otherwise I wouldn't buy it, because I don't collect too many G.I. Joe things. So thanks to them, there is a link in the description below. I love Big Bad Toy Store, have since before I was reviewing, and they have never disappointed me, so that's why I work with them. Alright, so, I'll put this out there. I am a knowledgeable enough person when it comes to pew-pews, but I'm not, like, directly interested in the military side of it, so I don't necessarily know things. I'm guessing all of these guns are made-up guns, but we'll talk about them as best as I can, and if you feel the need to correct me on something, whether it's G.I. Joe related or military stuff related, feel free to do so. It is not my area of expertise, which is interesting because I was a history teacher. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, so before we get into the figure, let's take a quick look at my package. It's a good one. I like the way it looks. I like that you get to see all the junk in there, and I mean that in a good way. It's the way I want my window packaging to be. I like that it's a nice square packaging. I know some people like the curves on Marvel Legends, some people don't. That's totally subjective. I am personally a fan of the square edges, and this is nice. It's a nice enough back of the box. Like, I like that it's set up with like actual scenery. It's a good looking package. I like it. I like this, whatever this is for. You can scan that and see what that does. Probably takes you to their website. Yeah, it's a good package. This figure stands roughly 6 3/8 inches tall, and that's going to be about 16.25 centimeters. Here he is up against Darwin. Similar in size, so definitely mix and matchable. Definitely not big enough for McFarlane, and not even close to big enough for Marvel Select. That is weird. Okay, so let's do a quick question of the day. What do you guys think about this? For 35 bucks, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Do you think that's a fair amount of stuff for 35 bucks? I think it could even be generous. I think you get a whole lot more for your money when it comes to Hasbro's other departments compared to Marvel. The Marvel team, you get virtually nothing for your money, whereas these other ones, it's like they're throwing stuff at you. And I get that it's an army builder, but still, there's a lot going on here. Even just this right here, compared to a Marvel $35 offering, it's already better. But you get everything that comes with it, so that's crazy. Okay, so let's just talk about the aesthetic here. It looks to me like it's probably some kind of like arid mountain terrain camo. I don't know, like mountains of Afghanistan type gear. I don't know for sure. Like I said, not really a military guy, but it looks too green to be desert and too brown to be jungle. So that's what it looks like to me. You guys can let me know. But the camo is not bad on here. I've definitely seen worse. I might have seen better, but that's a decent camo paint job, I would say. I think it looks all right. And again, you guys who are maybe more into this stuff than I am can say, no, that's not actually good camo. It doesn't look right, whatever, maybe. But for an action figure, it looks solid. There's a lot of sculpt work going on, a lot of texturing in the clothes, pockets, and insignias and things. It's definitely solid. Not a lot of paint work for like the plate carrier and things like that, but there's some, and there's plenty of sculpted details. So yeah, you don't have like painted buckles. That would have gone a long way. This figure's already chock full of detail, so I can't really fault him for it. I mean, it definitely should be there, but not for 35 bucks maybe. So anyway, point being, if you really wanted to throw a wash on this guy, like in the straps, for instance, where you see all that texturing, a wash will bring that out. Throw a little bit of FDE paint on there, in some places, some blacks, some grays, some silvers. You could bring this guy to life easily because there's lots of detail in the sculpt. It's just not all painted. So yeah, it's solid for sure. Decent enough. The eyes are pretty well done. I think the eyebrows are way too far into the center though, and then they stop a little bit early, but that's not a huge deal, of course. But yeah, it's a solid looking release for sure. And that's just the base figure, and the more stuff you add to him, the better he looks, which is why they probably got away without using as much paint. So yeah, this looks good. I'll say for 35 bucks, I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10. The camo paint job is nice and the sculpt is really solid. Now, this is where this figure really starts to shine. Let's talk about the accessories. First off, I'll show you the helmet again. We do have the helmet, which has a decent amount of paint on it. It's definitely good enough, and it looks nice, and it fits on him nicely. No real problems there. I think maybe it could be a little bigger. I don't know, but again, you guys can let me know, that kind of thing. Looks solid. If you don't want to do the helmet, you do get the other head covering that goes with the tarp thing, poncho, whatever you want to call that. I'll show you that. So this is decent enough. Pops on the head, and it works well, so that's okay. So you get that, so that's some headgear. And then you also do get this cloth piece, which is surprisingly well done, especially for Hasbro. Not just in the print, but in the quality. It's nice, and it fits over the figure, and it looks really, really solid. There's a pouch on it. It's a decent accessory. Really, really pleased with that. It matches very nicely with the plastic, so I like that. You do get the big backpack, which has a couple of attachment points to connect things to it. No paint on it, but really nice sculpt. It is quite heavy, so it might be a problem for some posing, but really, really nice sculpt. With digital sculpting, it's so easy to get cloth to look good these days, and they did a really good job on this. So throw a wash on there, throw a little bit of paint in your golden. Otherwise, it looks plasticky, but it's okay. To go with the rest of his gear, you get a bunch of different pouches. I don't need to name each one of those. That's cool. You get a walkie-talkie or a radio. And then we get a bunch of guns. So we have the pistol. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I can't tell what that gun is supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be a pistol at all. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be a real pistol at all. You get this gun, which looks to me like a cross between, I don't know, an AR or an M16 and a DB12, and then maybe an AK, considering the mag, though it's not that curved. I don't know. It's hard to say what this gun is supposed to be, but you get the removable mag and the forward grip that folds down. I guess that's a grip. It looks weird for a grip, but you get that. That's a nice enough gun. Then you get the light machine gun, if you want to call it that, which has the folding down bipod, which is pretty cool. I like that. Let me see if I can get that down there. There we go. You get the bipod. It has the handle on top. The handle doesn't move. Cannot get this to go. There we go. And then you do get the ammo thing. Ammo canister with the pretty nicely done rounds in there. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. That's the light machine gun. You get the heavy machine gun, which has the big old tripod base and some ammo that you can put through there on the belt. And you can swap out the hands to the double-handed, whatever you call that type of thing, to the more pistol grip style grip. So that's pretty cool. You get that. And I don't think I mentioned that you get his dog tags. So that would be the last of the real accessories, almost. Then you get the base, which is cool. And then lastly, this is the coolest feature, I think. Maybe not the coolest, because he's got a lot of guns. But you get to turn him into a whole different person. So you get the white guy set, and then you get the black guy set. So that's pretty cool. So for an army builder, I like that they included that. Loads of accessories to make them unique from one. If you're going to buy two and maybe make one a black guy, for instance, you have more than enough options with all the other accessories to make them look like different characters or different, different figures, whatever. That's fine. So 10 out of 10 on accessories. That's everything you could want, really, I think. I mean, I guess you could have more specific attachments for his gear and stuff, but I don't think you need it. That's a lot of gear for $35. And having the black guy parts, that's a nice touch too. Okay, so we're kind of on a roll with this figure. Lots of stuff. Let's go through the articulation. It's fairly standard. This should be a quicker part of the review. Except for this part right here. What the heck? Flippin' heck. Why? Why isn't it an actual ball peg in there? Like, it is. You can move this. Why did they do it like that? Make it an actual double ball peg, you silly people. And then the neck barely has any range on what feels like a ball peg. It moves around like a ball peg. Sorry. It feels like a ball peg, moves around like a ball peg, but very little range down here, no real range here, so it's just the ball peg at the top of the head that helps. And you get a little bit out of the bottom neck, but it could be so much better for almost no effort. Butterfly joint on this guy is there, but barely, so that's not great. Not great at all. You don't really get to bring the arms forward in any way, and then they go back just a touch. Standard ball hinge for the shoulder, though, that works no problem. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow. Other than the plastic not matching properly, but it kind of isn't going to be noticeable anyway. It's a good elbow. That's fine. The wrists swivel. This one has the horizontal hinge. This one has the vertical hinge. Some people argue that's better for holding guns. I disagree. I would much rather have 2 vertical hinges. I've explained that in the one articulation explanation video that I made, why I prefer it the other way. I'll get to making more of those at some point. He does have the ab crunch, the upside down ab crunch in there, which works well enough. Then he has a waist twist ball peg in there at the bottom, so pretty good range. I don't think there's another joint in there, but this is not really made to come off, so I can't get in there. But yeah, it works well enough. It's okay. Floaty belt is floaty. Unfortunately, he has the drop down hips. Drop down hips suck, and this figure is no different. As a result of them, he has very loose hips, so that blows. But bringing the leg forward, he can go up to horizontal, and that is even with the drop down. So it's like, what the heck? Don't do that. They go back just a touch going out to the side, almost the splits, so that's good. Can we just, hold on. These figures came out roughly at the same time. This is a Spider-Man figure with the world's most obscene hip articulation in terms of aesthetics that can do that. That's the maximum amount of range going out to the side. Here's a military guy in baggy clothes with hips that look way better and have, look at the range. What is happening in the Hasbro's Marvel Legends department? What is happening there? That's nuts. So the hips are fine, other than the looseness and the drop down, which is garbage. You don't need that at all. You don't even need to drop them down to bring them out. In either of the positions, the drop down serves no purpose other than to create looseness. Thigh swivel is good. Double jointed knees. Again, the plastic is the wrong color. Not super noticeable. Proportioning is way off, though. Lower legs are way too long compared to the upper legs. Hasbro seems to have that problem on almost all their lines, so that's kind of weird. You do get a boot swivel, and then for the ankles, they go all the way back. Not that far forward, but probably far enough, and the ankle rocker is okay, but with a boot swivel there, it'll be fine. So, yeah, it's not the world's best articulation, but it's going to get a 8. I'll give it an 8. It's perfectly fine. It's reasonably posable for what this figure is, given all the different things on it and everything. It'll be just fine. Okay, so now it's time for the final verdict. $35 for all of this. Guys, Hasbro charges you $35 for this, just because it came with wings. It does have an alternate head and 2 hands, to be fair, but $35 just because you got some wings compared to all of this. Or $35 for a video game Spider-Man repaint with like a couple of accessories. That's the Marvel team. And then this is the G.I. Joe team. It's like totally different companies. I don't know what's happening. It's very strange. I think it's just a matter of people will accept things and so they get taken advantage of. But this figure is astounding, I would say, for $35. You can't reasonably ask for more. It seems cheap to me, given all that you get. I'm going to give this figure an overall rating of 9.5 out of 10. The downside being there are a lot of parts that need a wash or something on them, and maybe that's not reasonable to ask for, but it does end up looking plasticky because there are so many things with all the details sculpted in that it looks weird without paint, like this, for instance. You know what I mean? So it's not perfect, but for $35, it's a heck of a bargain, I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, especially you G.I. Joe people who aren't normally around these parts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about my take on things. Let me know what you think about the figure and what you think about Marvel Legends and everything else that we've talked about here. So, there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, or at least we're getting close to that again. And I do have thousands of videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.